Bitcoin harnesses stranded compute, as do many other compute networks out there, but none of them incentivize the creation of new compute and power them 100% with renewable energy. Well, that's exactly what Bittensor Subnet 110 Green Compute does. It turns cow shit into compute. Please welcome Green Compute.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Josh Redette, and apparently I'm the guy that turns shit into compute. I've been called worse things, so let me walk you through what I have in store for you today in regards to Subnet 110. We're a newer subnet. We've only been around 2 months, but what you're about to see is markedly different than lots of other things in the ecosystem. So Green Compute, my name's Josh Redette. I've been in the cryptocurrency space for nearly 10 years now. And this is why things are a little bit different. So fundamentally, I am a founder. I'm not a token promoter. I've been running businesses in this space for 10 years. So a little history about myself, because it's always important to know who this weird bloke is in a stupid shirt on stage. I was involved in a company called Easy Crypto Hunter back in 2017. We were the biggest company in the UK that was the manufacturer. It is sticky, isn't it? I'll stay still. The biggest manufacturer of GPU cryptocurrency mining equipment. So when the cryptocurrency market was really moving, obviously my company based in Manchester were physically building the systems that we were deploying to investors all around the country in Europe that was effectively producing all the coins for Ethereum, Ravencoin, all these different assets over time. So my history goes back to 2017, deploying large-scale hardware architecture across the UK. Obviously, we've been able to do lots of different things there, and we've deployed millions and millions of pounds of equipment over the years in a really interesting manner. So that's got plenty of recognition over the years. So we've done some stuff with the BBC. We've got an Amazon Prime documentary. We ended up running a BBC article that picked up called Cow Poo to Crypto. So this was a couple of years ago when we were turning farms into cryptocurrency mining ecosystems. The BBC picked up this article. They liked what we were doing. And that translated into an Amazon film crew coming and filming us for a couple of months and produced a documentary called Crypto Farmers, which was all about how we were diversifying British farms across the land. Along my travels, I've been asked to go over to Brussels as an advisor for the EU Parliament, just to try and keep the policies being nudged in the right direction, which obviously is sometimes harder than it first appears. So this is really kind of what we do today. We operate a real business with real revenues, and we've already got quite a large-scale business. So 2017 we started. As of today, fast forward to the operational company behind Green Compute, we've got 10 staff. It's a multi-million-pound business, already doing 6-figure revenues monthly in terms of residual incomes. So we deploy compute, we manufacture on one side of the business, Easy Compute, we build equipment, we deploy equipment, and we manage equipment. From 2017 to 2022, that was predominantly cryptocurrency mining. Obviously, as Siam has quite nicely laid out this morning, we've been able to morph as the technology has done, and it just turns out that if you're really good with GPUs and you understand how to build that architecture, just so happen to be that they're the very devices that are now powering this AI revolution. So of course, we were very well placed, so I spent a couple of million quid of research and development, turning my company from a crypto mining explicit company into an AI infrastructure deployment business. So we were able to now deploy physical systems around the country that take advantage of constrained compute. Or, in our instance, fundamentally deploying new compute. So what's really interesting about my business model is that whilst, again, Siam laid up the groundwork really easily and openly this morning, and as much as that we all agree that we need more AI, we need more GPUs, we need more data centers, we need more processing power to keep up with this non-linear growth. The issue is power, again, as Siam alluded to this morning. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the UK particularly, our energy grid is a mess. There's actually loads of power being produced that doesn't even make it to the grid. So every time you're driving through the hills and the valleys and you see these solar panels, wind turbines, hydroelectric sites, what a lot of people don't realize, the ugly truth, is that sometimes the local substation can't even handle all the power that's being generated by the wind turbines or the solar. So I thought that, the British farming community really heavily diversified into renewable energy assets, and there's loads of power being made and it can't make it to the grid, and we've got AI that needs more power. Why don't we join all of these things together? And now we are one of the largest hardware providers to the British farming and agricultural industry, deploying effectively data centers on farms, which is a strange combination but works really, really well. So you can kind of see what we do. And then, of course, on the back end, we then commercialize that equipment for our clients. So a typical client might be a high net worth investor who owns a farm. Maybe they've got some wind turbines, or in the case we'll discuss today, an anaerobic digester, where they take cow poo, chicken poo, pig poo, waste from the farm, boil it in a stomach, and it generates methane that runs through an engine to produce power. We're able to take an old pig shed, turn it into a data center, use that green energy that couldn't have made it to the grid or wasn't earning a lot of money for that particular owner, and we can turbocharge that revenue stream. Quite a nice model that we've been operating quite successfully. So where then does green compute come into all of this? So green compute effectively is a coin in the Subnet 110 ecosystem, in the Tau ecosystem, with Subnet 110, and effectively it kind of splits into three really easy to understand sections. Number one is that because we already operate a lot of infrastructure, we are already dealing with enterprise clients who need to rent compute. So as it stands at the moment, the business is doing over $150,000 of recurring income in terms of contract revenue from companies that need to rent AI and infrastructure. So all of a sudden, they can now buy green compute token. They get a 10% discounted rate on any commercialization there, so it saves them 10% of OPEX, and they can be 100% assured that the energy in which is providing compute for their company is now ESG available, certifiable, and good to go. So that creates a really interesting purchase power for the coin, because now it's used as a payment mechanism to pay for the compute. Fantastic. Of course, then our miners are the people that own the infrastructure, and of course, they can now choose to get paid in the green compute coin, which is really helpful for those guys to, again, turbocharge their revenue streams. And then, of course, we've got the contract revenue coming in because we have a full team of salespeople already on board with this, dealing with enterprises, selling more and more compute as we go. So that gives us some quite unique, what's called tokenomics. So it's a word we use in crypto to kind of understand the kind of price flow and element of what the coins do. So we're a little bit different. So lots of companies in the Bittensor ecosystem, as Siam was saying, his worst thing is always being early. And there's lots of incredible subnets, and lots that we'll hear from today, that are developing products, developing services, the kind of newer companies, newer projects starting out, and Tau's this amazing incubator for these phenomenal companies that are coming. What I've done is kind of a little bit the other way around, in as much as that I've had my company 10 years, and we've plugged in Tau as this massive supercharger ecosystem to just take us through that hockey stick of the next period of time. So in terms of the OPEX, for example, we're not in a position where we need to be selling tokens to cover wages or salaries, because we've already got this existing business. Of course, the people that are providing compute to us are spending sometimes, millions and millions of dollars on new equipment. They're typically looking at a 5-year investment play. So in other ecosystems, some of the big subnets that are out there, they're forced to kind of, if we take Shoots as the kingpin example, it's a phenomenal subnet and a phenomenal ecosystem, but because people have to provide their compute, they have to consistently sell a lot of that coin to cover their electric cost and their running costs, and that can cause some different pressures. Whereas our clients that produce their own power, have got their own equipment, are thinking a bit more long-term and are really interested in the longer-term visions. And of course, because we've already got most of the business costs covered, and we've got the sales mechanism in place, it just gives us a bit of a longer window. So we're really keen to kind of express the nuances of what we do as a business, being slightly different and hopefully quite advantageous for people that are involved. So With that, obviously, we've had a bit of a flying start. So even though we've only been around as a subnet just over 2, nearly 3 months now, we've been able to be relatively pretty successful in the time that we've been here already. We've already stated that we're going to be using 10% of all of the contract value that we bring into our ecosystem to use to repurchase the token. So not only do we have enterprise companies buying the token to use our rental on our our AI infrastructure, we're purchasing that coin back because we think it's a great asset to keep doing, again, increasing what we're doing. But of course, then that kind of gave us the number that we see before us. So I think Will really interestingly gave us a definition there. So just for clarity, we did an $82,000 contract within our first month of operation. So we used $8,200 to kind of repurchase the coin, which I think was one of the highest buybacks in the Tau ecosystem that we're aware of. So hopefully we're starting to move and shake quite quickly, even though we're a bit newer. So this kind of gives us a little bit of a roadmap as to what we've done already and to where we're looking to go. So we kind of got things tested in January, February. We launched, I think it was the 21st, 22nd of April this year. We were able to do our first buyback the month later from profitable revenue, and we've already started some commercial partnerships within the Bittensor ecosystem. So uniquely, most of our clients are actually completely outside of the Bittensor ecosystem. But of course, as you can imagine, given the fact that there's 128 different subnets doing some type of AI work, lots of them need GPUs. So we're starting to do some big commercial partnerships internally with lots of other subnets, because of course, we'd love to support everyone else who's working hard to grow the Bittensor ecosystem. So coming next, obviously, we've got the event today, which we're talking at, which is great to meet some new people, talk to new investors, and kind of spread the good word of what we're doing. We've got some really interesting developments behind the scenes in terms of what's coming next. My goal for the business really is, because my coin and the green compute coin can be used as a token to purchase compute, really my methodology of growth for the company is effectively business first, Tau second. And if we can get loads of people commercially buying the coin because they legitimately need to do large enterprise AI contracts, and then they end up going, oh, it's part of Tau, it's part of Bittensor, oh, I didn't even realize. To me, that would be a great success. And that's really something that we're keen to achieve. We're obviously then scaling our rental place. We have, obviously, you can go to the Green Compute website and obviously rent compute as we talk, as we deploy more equipment. We've consistently got more compute to play with. And one of the things that is not to be misunderstood is that all of the compute that we put down is now new permanent compute. So every time that some of our new miners come on board and they deploy lots of equipment, that's AI equipment able to be processing any type of company's work that never existed before, and we're continuously adding to that ecosystem. So obviously we're looking at expanding to more renewable energy sites, more miners on across more different types of power, and just growing a really large decentralized AI infrastructure. So what we're hoping to end up having is loads of smaller data centers all around predominantly the UK, but very much the world as we grow, that are on all sorts of renewable energy, and we can give assurances to these companies that are mindful of making sure that is green powered. So again, that kind of leads to the partnerships that we've got. So we've just done another one with another subnet called Voicent, which is a voice recognition AI software. So of course, they need lots of GPU compute to do the voices for the various company organizations that they work with. This is one of the few companies that we're working with within the subnet ecosystem currently. As stated, most of our work at the moment comes from outside of the ecosystem. But it's great as we start to penetrate this to kind of help support all the other amazing subnets in the ecosystem. So today really is the kind of big day, as it were. We've been keeping something under our wrap for a little bit of time, and I thought this was a good day whilst we're on stage here in London, talking to some really interesting people to announce the big thing that's coming. So we have just closed and are in final stages of build out $3 million of new permanent compute that's going to be based in the UK on 100% renewable energy. So my team is in the middle of a last build-out at this data center very shortly, and we expect that that's probably going to be live within the next 8 weeks. This will unequivocally be the largest permanent deployment in the entire Bittensor ecosystem, and frankly, this is just one of the couple of sites we've got up our sleeve for the rest of this year. So we're really here to make some big waves. The world needs more AI compute. The world should be doing that in a green, sustainable way, and if we can help the British farming community make more money along the way, whilst powering this green energy revolution, I'm just so excited for the future that this is going to hold. So really, what you're actually backing is a real founder who's had a company now for 10 years. We've got a full staff team based in Manchester where we build and manufacture the equipment. We've got a real business with real salespeople doing real contracted deals for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months contracts on some of this compute as big companies need more and more architecture to run all of the stuff. Subnet 110 is live, we're operational, we kicked off and we're moving, and of course we've already generating real revenue. So just as Will very clearly stated before about real companies entering into this Bittensor ecosystem, I saw this amazing decentralized ecosystem and thought, what a great addition to what he's already doing. How can we use this to turbocharge both the ecosystem and the companies connected to it? And I couldn't be more excited for the amazing people and the infrastructure and the opportunities we've had in the past couple of months. So, in conclusion, real business, real revenue, with real new compute getting deployed. So that's my time this morning, and I'll love to answer some questions for you in the next section. Thank you very much.